My bad. Let's do this. Same damn thing. Got niggas paying top dollar, talking about that pretty brown frame. And I don't mean Impala, this is just a dollar. All about your business, you must be religious. God done took her time on. Getting tired of the no sin more. Something new. Hey. Don't give a damn about the things I told ya. They don't have a clue, but they don't need you like I do. You need champagne, you'd rather be held tight and maintain. I wanna know everything about you, motherfucker. What up, Muffin? Hey. Yeah. Wanna be the only one you know. Come on. I wanna get the chance to spend some time. Can I talk to you? Hey. Can I talk to you? Something hey. Hey. That's one that my baby put me up on. My 20-year-old put me up on that about 2 years ago. What up, though? I'm going to now ask the Mongoose to do what we've been discussing and hit the link. Flawless, please. What up, though, everybody? My homie had a few things he wanted to discuss with me. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys can take part in this discussion. Like I told you, my partner, me and him has the beginning, the middle, the end in unison with each other. But along the way is things that we disagree about. So he want to tell me why it's a good idea to be military minded on the educating of the word of God. And I was trying to tell him that it don't work that way. So he's going to come up here, rap a taste with me, get a few issues off. And meanwhile, y'all, I'm going to play a nice little tune, you did, so that it won't be too quiet. I mean, I can get this rant off right quick, but I wanted to say that because the Mongoose is a 2-3 job working type of individual, and his time is precious. So I want him to get his shots off, and, I'm going to fill in the blanks along the way and afterwards. So just bear with me for a second, y'all. You understand? I called you up to find out what you like. What Hey.
Girl, you drive me crazy. You're my lady, good. You don't mind me. I'm anticipating my lady, good. So we will be standing face to face. Feel each other with a warm embrace. Your touch will set my body aflame. I'm breathing all the feeling that you bring me. Cause girl, you drive me crazy. You're my lady too. You don't mind waiting. I'm anticipating my lady. To show special lady. Girl, you drive me crazy. My lady, my lady, my lady. But you don't mind waiting. I'm anticipating my lady, my lady to such a special lady, my lady,
Yeah, I'm waiting on you, man.
wanna see it again. I don't mind waiting.
Hey.
Girl, you got me crazy, my lady.
Yes, yes, yes. Hate to have to calm y'all down like that. You got my good brother here. You understand? Hey, your camera on, Mongoose, just in case you didn't know. Mongoose want to be seen tonight. That's what's up, Mongoose. That's what's up, baby boy.
Hey, they do.
What's going on with you, my man?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
Okay, copy that.
loud
Copy
and
that.
clear, my brother. Loud and
All right,
clear.
that's good. That's good. We finally got the technical difficulty stuff already taken care of.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, brother. Applause, brother. Applause.
No, that was you, man, following your instructions. I figured whatever it was going to be, step one, is perfect. Step two is not to step into step two. You know
That's
what
right.
step two is. You know what step two is. You know what number two is, right?
What's number two?
Are you?
Fill it in for the people that don't know.
Number two, when you go do number two, see,
Oh, okay.
right, you ain't for number two, you for number one.
Okay. 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 Now, dig, brother, you had a little something on your mind. I know you're a very busy person, and I know your time is precious. You understand? So I don't really want to shoot right now. I want you to feed off of whatever you had to share with us. And I'm gonna push mute. I'm gonna be here for you if you need me. I think you was talking about a string or something like that. You said
Yeah, yes, most definitely. Do you have the string with you?
the string.
Any string, like a string of hair or anything, string from your clothing, anything like that.
Uh, uh, I got a little cord. How about that?
Oh, okay, okay. We'll do the cord. We'll do the cord.
Okay,
But all right, so but imagine the cord being like a string of hair, or
okay,
just a string. Period. All right,
okay.
all right. Now, like I said, put that down on a white sheet of paper, or just imagine that's on the table. It's just there on the
Okay.
table. It's on the berth. Down. You have that string, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that string is going to become human. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at a sperm cell is like a string. It has a little tail to it. It fishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all those sperm cells have to hit that one egg. They go for that egg. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but only one sperm can get inside that egg to fertilize that egg to make the human, right?
Okay.
Now, step back. As I was stating earlier, for people who are saying that they're righteous and they're conscious and everything else, and they're semi-conscious and they're God, yeah, they're gods and they're gods into their own mind. Now, hold up, wait a minute. Now, look at that string again. Now, before that person became a human, what made that string? Do you feel me?
In order for that person, the male.
Right, right. That string is going to become human. You understand what I'm saying? But before that string became a string, what made that string?
Hit that light. Before the string became a string, what
No,
made the
no.
string?
Before the string became human, the sperm
Uh-huh.
cell.
Okay.
Right. What made the string?
Uh, I said it come from a male, so ejaculation.
No, 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 no. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Everything. If I'm about to become human,
Mm-hmm.
and this string right here is going to make someone human. You understand what I'm saying?
It's going to
What made
become human.
right, right? What made the first string? Who created or what made the first? How did that first string come about?
Oh, okay. I understand.
Right, right, right. Now you
I hear
see.
where you're going.
Right, 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 right. So when people talk of consciousness and spiritual consciousness, and they did this and they did that, okay, well, where did the first string come from? So now, think of the microorganisms and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
and the stuff that you don't see. Just like I tell people to go get a drop of water, drop it on the thing, and look up under the microscope, and you see all type of molecules and everything moving all inside.
Mm-hmm.
So you see molecules and everything that you don't see. That's going all around microscopic, they call it molecules, that's going around inside that string, let alone, check this out, that's holding the string together. So it's not falling apart. Now,
Okay.
how can gravity be that great and not hold us down? How can gravity be so great to hold that string down, to hold that string together, and be so light enough to let us move freely? Do you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a mystery or what?
I'm following.
Okay, all right. That's what I'm talking about. And that is what's called the God particle. And that's what man and scientists can't figure out. How can gravitational pull be so spectacular to hold our bodies together, but yet and still be in gravitational pull and so many certain things to let airplanes fly?
Mm-hmm.
to let spit and mucus come up out your mouth, to let sperm, transfer from one person to another. See, if you control magnetism, if you remember in the Marvel comics, about Magneto and everything else, he controlled magnetism. He controlled
Mm,
magnetism, and if you stop the magnetism inside of a person's body, you shut the person's body's down.
mm.
You can have any and everything you want. Give me magnetism. I'll control everything because I'll even control your breathing. You won't even be able to breathe. So how can gravity be so great as because remember when they fly up in the plane, they go to where weightlessness is supposed to be. Remember, but God has this here thing so complex and so unique. Again, is that string moving? No. Is it flying up in the air? No. Is it wandering off? It has it tapered off? Has it fallen apart? No. So how can gravity be so great to hold that little piece of string down and yet still be so light up off our chest to let us breathe? That's amazing. That right there is truly amazing. So when
Okay,
people
I see where you headed at.
right. So what, who, what, when, where is causing that? Or what is causing that? Because something is going on. We still got neurons, as the scientists say, that are still what? Being activated. Who and what created the neurons? What are neurons? Neurons created themselves? Are they self-consciousness? You know what I'm saying? Who created consciousness? Who made consciousness? These are the questions, that I put so boldly, to those type of people, who keep saying, they're this and they're that, they're uh uh um I'm talking about those who try to go above and above the frame to say that they created themselves, that they're God. Well, yeah, you are God in your own likeness. Yeah, and you think you're God because you can create. And then when I tell people to do the ultimate, well, you trying to tell me to commit suicide and you trying to tell me to kill myself? I'm like, you said that you God. I said, and if you said that you God, if I told you to kill yourself, you should have told me that's impossible because God can't die.
Hmm.
So how can you even do that? So why would you even be offended? But how can you be offended for me challenging what came out of your mouth? And I challenge you. So why would you get offended to the challenge? In this society, we are challenged every day, but it's okay as long as you don't challenge my what? My belief. If you don't
Hmm.
challenge my belief, we cool. We can talk about any and everything. See, but the word of God, Mongoose, and I hope you watched that video that I sent you.
Are you talking about Stephen Darby?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see the majority of his videos, if not
Right,
all
right,
of them.
right.
I
But
haven't listened to his wife yet, though.
okay. That one was so. It reminded me of what you were saying lately, as far as being out there in the street and everything else, and running and hustle and everything else. Because he was doing the same thing. He said he had no thought of being saved.
Hmm.
He was like, God, leave me alone. Let me. He said, after I finish doing what I'm doing, then I come serve.
Hmm. Yep.
And God told him on that particular video, he said, if you leave here tonight, if you leave here today, you will not return. And he said that sobered him up. That scared him to death. And he said he already knew God and everything. He knew God was after him, but he was running. I'm having too much, fun out here.
Hmm.
I'm making money. I'm selling dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. But the voice of God kept talking to him. And his friend, what's the thing about it? He said his friends kept telling him, man, you don't look right doing this. And that was the thing that was told me when I was up there in the clubs and everything else. The boy was like, Boog, Boogie, you don't look right. You don't look like you should be here. And I think that gives God um a all out assault and a hands free approach to come and get you. Because I denied him. I was like, I don't want to be no goody two shoes. My mama told me I was saving everything else. I was like, oh, I don't want to be that. I don't never want to be that. I don't want to be no Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Because my thing was, okay, well, you couldn't sin. That this is my conception. You couldn't sin. And that goes to show you how wrong I was. You couldn't sin. Um, you couldn't do anything, and you couldn't fight. So if someone picked on you or hit you or did whatever else, you couldn't fight, you couldn't hit them back. And I was like, I don't want people picking on me and I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want that. See, but that was one of the wrongest misconceptions that was ever put down and put into our system. And that came into our system through slavery. Because how could they beat us, kill us, rape us, you know what I'm saying? Cut off our hands and feet, and then say, okay, here's the Bible. The Bible says you're supposed to love your enemies. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they put it up under what? Christianity. And then they say, well, this is your God. Well, how can this be my God? And you came and you kidnapped me from an island, or you kidnapped me from where I was. And at the time where I didn't know I was, I only went by what you said. But even what you said didn't add up to what you were preaching to us who couldn't read and couldn't write because you passed laws against that. And our understanding was dull, but our ancestors knew what you were saying and what you were preaching was not what they were feeling inside. They knew that, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Because how can you keep beating me and I don't get to beat you back? And that was my understanding of being a Christian and being saved and being in the whole white Christianity thing. And that has been there and has been the template for many, many, many years, many, many, many generations until technology came along and technology evolved even more. And the things that were hidden, that's what the Bible said, there will be nothing that is hidden that shall not be revealed, and man knowledge shall increase. So when the technology got here and the ears became open, which means information, and it's all about the type of information that you wish to discover, that you wish to listen to, that you wish to indulge in. And this one thing is for certain. Just like the eunuch was on his way back to Ethiopia and he met Thomas along the way and he was reading the scripture, but he couldn't understand the scripture. And Thomas met him in the middle of the road as he was on his way back down to Ethiopia. And he was a eunuch out of Ethiopia of Queen Sheba, of Queen Sheba's descent. Or he worshipped. I take it back. It wasn't Queen Sheba. He was a eunuch of the Queen of Ethiopia, but it does not necessarily say it was Queen of Sheba because Queen of Sheba that was back during Solomon. And when he met Thomas, Thomas was a disciple, and he was one of the disciples of Jesus Christ. And a matter of fact, it's the one that they call doubting Thomas. That's the Thomas who met the Ethiopian eunuch that was going back down to Ethiopia. And he said, "What is it that I have to do?" He said, "Here is this here. Is this water? Can I not be baptized?" Because Thomas had and he knew the scriptures, and the Ethiopian had the scriptures. And even though they were from certain countries, when they came together and Thomas gave him the interpretations of what he was reading, all of the stuff came together. This is why the Bible says, "You know in part, I know in part, he knows in part." But all of these parts come together. We don't know the whole thing. Everything is cut up in parts. And the Ethiopian was baptized that day by Thomas in the wilderness. And when he baptized him, and as soon as he baptized him, Thomas was taken away in the spirit. And I'll tell you where it's written because it's written about where he went. But this is what I'm saying as far as like being in parts. We don't know the whole thing, but we bringing stuff together that are in parts. And our parts are like a puzzle. It will fit. I don't care if a story is told 20, 30, 40 years before, 20, 30, 40 years. Well, I can't predict the future. Now, whatever we were taught, if it was actual and if it came from God, whatever we're going to pick up later on in our life, even tomorrow, if it's new information and it comes from God, if we put it together and we hold it in there, and if it comes from God, it's going to sink in and it's going to fit. We don't have to force it. We don't have to make it fit. We're going to retain that knowledge, and we're going to remember, hey, this
Hey,
was told
hey,
to me.
hey, Mongoose, whatever your mic, whatever you got it hitting or rubbing up against, making a yeah, that sound right there.
That's all right. Okay,
Like a
okay. Hold, let me
scratch
hold this.
record.
Okay, let me hold this up.
Yeah, you want
Okay.
to if you ain't got your hook up on mute, you definitely want to hold it up while you talking and expressing yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you go ahead.
All right. That's why again going back to what people say. That's why we know these here things in part, but our parts should come together. Why? Because maybe the part that you know and the part that I know, it took me 57 years to get to this year to meet your part. At what age? And you still what 14, 15? You 16? And in other words, I'm saying
24.
you're young. Yeah, right, right, right. So it took that long for our parts to come together to be developed. So yes, I mean I agree. No, we're not going to throw people away. We're not going to throw them up under the bus and everything else. And we're not going to exclude from what you're saying. But that part that you come with should be fitting into our narratives of what we're of what for one as of right now, like I said, for what we're trying to do. Barring all accidents and everything else, as I was telling you yesterday, we are at war. Therefore, time is of the essence. Time has already been cut because Lucifer knows he has just what? A short while. That's why he's going on the nut. He's going on the rampage. And I tell people, if you want to know what's going on in this world, look at what's going on overseas. And I try to get people to look at that. Why? Because that's a part that you need to know. Because what's going over there, they're going to soon bring over here. So I want you to get prepared for it. So, in other words, we talking about, okay, well, I'm still spiritual with this here, and I'm still spiritual with that. Man, these folks don't care if you spiritual or whatever else. The demon and the dragon is coming. And when he comes, he's going to let you know, oh, you're going to believe me if you don't believe nobody else. And if you don't have a handhold of Jesus Christ, then you'll be able to take these medicines. You'll take these jabs. You know what I'm saying? And what people don't understand is the thing that held that string together. When God spoke his word, when he said, let there be light, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
We
right.
said, let there be light, and there was light, and God spoke everything into existence except almost, excuse me, almost. And I got to kind of research this here, and you got to kind of sit back and think about it. Because he said, let us make. So he didn't speak into existence, but he spoke into the existence, the frame work that would make man. Because he said, let us make man in our image. Now, to make something means to take something and make something out of it. So, what was that string made out of? You understand what I'm saying? Now, to create something is to take nothing and to create or and to make it so it's functional. So God took nothing and he made something out of it. And then that something that he made out of it, he made man. So that's how deep I go when people talk about their spiritual, and when they talking about or they want to fuss and fight, they 5 percenters or they IHO tips and all this other stuff, or they Kim it. And I'm like, and remember I asked them that question. I'm like, okay, well, how can all of these gods be gods and let this one God just dominate and defeat all of them, including Lucifer? So how can all these gods be gods? How come all these gods couldn't come together and jump this one God? How was that possible? So now, since people can't answer that question, I said, oh, so let's go back to this. Let's go back to number one. He said in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. So why is that so hard to settle with that God created the heaven and earth? Why do I have to be nice to you when it comes to religion, but you can accept any other vile, nasty, demonic talk, lifestyle, visual aspects that goes on in this world every day? But when it comes to your salvation, I got to be timid, I got to be soft, I got to be talking nice to you. That's crazy. That's only for a time being, which he has done that time. For the fact that he woke you up this morning, that's grace and love. For the fact that he allowed us to come together, that's grace and love. We should be giving praise for that at all times. Time is of the essence. The paradox has shifted. You can feel it. These people are coming after the saints. Not only are they coming after the saints, they're coming after the whole human race. This is why God had to shorten the time. And this is why time is of the essence. Remember when I told you yesterday, I was like, did you know the internet went down? I was like, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all that went down. You was like, no, no, you didn't. But what I didn't tell you is that the internet went down over there in Europe. And this is what they said. They said the internet went down over there in Europe, shut everything down, right? Um, and they said the algorithms were like if they were talking to each other. And it was like the algorithm was communicating and they were having and they couldn't understand the language because they said the language that they were speaking in was a language that they did not make, that the programmers and all of them did not make. So they said that the algorithms had created their own language. We talking artificial intelligence. You understand what I'm saying? At any time you talking artificial intelligence, you might as well say it's called satanic intelligence. And the reason why God said I have to shorten the days He said, if I don't shorten the days, no flesh will be saved. Is that in the algorithm and in the stuff that they want now, that they have before the United Nations, and that they have before the New World Council, they want to penalize and they want to make extinct anything that gives off any type of gas or emutes any type of, like, when you regurgitate or you burp, that gives off a gas, or when you pass gas or you use the bathroom. They say they want to eliminate any beings, human or otherwise, that give off such gases. They want to make the earth pure. Now, that right there, if you can even get that concept wrapped around your mind, machines don't give off gases like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You say they don't?
No, they don't. Right.
Depends on the machine.
Right. Let me put it this way: artificial intelligence don't give off gases like that. Do you
Okay,
see what they're
valid,
working? Right,
valid.
right, right, right. They're working for. That's why you got all this shit: green space, green all this and green all. No emissions, no everything else.
Hmm. What you think
Because
about all that? What you think about global warming and all that?
well, see, all of that's phony. All that's fake.
Okay.
Because this is what Lucifer wants to do. In order for that to happen, that means you have to bring everything mechanical that does not give off those type of responses. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
Now, only things that are in artificial intelligence, or should I say demon intelligence, Lucifer intelligence, is tricking man into doing those things, because his whole thing is to eliminate the human race and to alter what God has already planned.
Uh-huh.
Not only that, but once he does this here on earth, he is still doing like Nimrod, and that is to get things together to go into the next dimension, or to go into the next several dimensions, until he reaches back to where Satan used to be. People don't understand. It's all about Lucifer getting back to where he used to be, and that was above the throne of God. Because remember, it was Satan and Lucifer who said, I will sit like the most high and reign above the stars. And that has been his whole mission. But he can't do that without man. That's why man is always reaching for the stars, trying to go where no man has gone before. You see what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
Uh-huh.
Whether it's in your behind or in your head,
Uh-huh. Yep.
he's always trying to go there. Always. And that's the pinnacle. He can't get there without man's help. And that's why God has to shorten the days and everything else, and with the technology and everything else, because he wants to eliminate man, make everything non-gender. Because if you're a machine, what does a machine know if it's a male or a female? What can a machine feel about love?
Uh-huh.
Remember, Lucifer is an emulator. He's an imitator. He imitates everything that God does, but he can't do what God does. So again, here is man. So he has to make man think that he's evolving. But we bring it right back to the basis. Look at that string. God didn't need no machine to bring no string together or to hold that thing together.
Uh-huh.
Let's get it back here to gravity. Gravity you can't see, you can't hear it, you can feel it. Oh, I'll take it back. You can hear it and feel it sometimes. You remember what they say, if a tree fall in the forest, do you hear it or does it fall? Or how does that thing go? If a tree fall in the forest, do you hear it or something like that?
That's what they say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that has to do with gravity. I was like, almost definitely. If a tree fall, yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't prescribe to none of the shit that science tell us.
Mm-hmm.
So you asking me, be like asking a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the guys who they get this information from. One of their scientists. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And if you know anything I know about this world, any type of faith that's put in the mainstream is put before everybody. Uh, 9 times out of 10 is just a character.
Right, right, right.
That's a character to push their religion. And when I say religion, science is a religion.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes.
All they do, what they say the Christians do, put the naked man on the cross, and all they got to do is believe, right?
Right, right,
All
right,
they
right,
do is put a picture in your face and say this is what it is, and all you got to do is believe.
right, right.
So it's a religion in itself.
Yeah,
And a person to bust you, try to bust you upside your motherfucking head for trying to tell them that their space and all that shit is fake.
yeah, yeah. They
Saying
will. Yeah,
they
yeah.
saying what you telling somebody that they God is fake.
Right, right, right.
But see, I like to point out something to the people that believe in this so-called solar system, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, the Bible tells us that there are many gods and many lords. I can be a god if I position myself up as one, and
Yep.
just one believer is all I would need.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
one, right?
Hmm. Yep, yep.
So, so the thing is this: there are many false gods and false lords.
Mm-hmm.
So let me point out false to you.
Mm-hmm.
Every last one of the planets is named after what?
A God.
It's named after a god. In
Mm-hmm.
my book, in my world, a false god,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So why would this so-called Christian nation appoint gods from Roman and Greek mythology into their science?
Right, 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 right,
And it's a telltale. It's because it's false.
right.
They're named after false gods. And listen, when I say false gods, it don't mean that they're not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they're not the one true God, the real God,
Right, right.
the
The
God
Most High.
that
Right,
created all things.
right, right.
So I don't mean that God may not be true to you.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
I mean is he's not the Almighty.
Right, right. Well, he said that in himself. He said, "Yeah, I never said there was other." He said, "Thou will have no other gods
That's right.
before me,"
That's right.
and that's including you.
Mm-hmm.
And see, people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there are other gods. What do you mean by that? But here we make these statues, and we put people on pedestals and everything else, and we worship them. We ain't got no business worshiping our marriage. We ain't got no business worshiping our mother. We ain't got no business worshiping our father. We ain't got no business, especially we ain't got no business worshiping our wife. That is one of the most hideous things to do. See, because that's what Adam did. Adam worshipped his wife. Now, how did Adam worship his wife? When he listened to her. You was right there. Adam and Eve, y'all both right there. Nigga. Y'all both right there in the presence of God.
Well, let me speak on that wife part you just named. Well,
Mm-hmm.
God said, "Don't put no God before me." So when you follow that and you put the one true God before anything, He makes the statues for you to love your wife
No, no,
or
no, no,
serve
no, no,
your
no,
wife.
no, 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 no. See, you're not understanding. You're missing my point.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, God told them not to touch of the tree, not to partake of the
Oh no,
tree.
I'm not disputing that part.
Right, right,
I'm
right,
not
right. See,
disputing none of
right, right, right. So Adam listened to his wife. Now, what did God say? Because you listen to your wife, that means you worshiped her. Yeah, so you gonna talk about all this? You walk with me, Adam. You talk with me. You commune with me before Eve got here. I told you not to do something. I put you in charge. Then this woman talks to you and you listen to her. How do
Well,
you listen
well,
to somebody
see,
when you
well,
worship?
see, what Adam is guilty of is putting something before God. He put
That's
his
right.
wife before God.
Exactly. And that's called worship.
Hmm.
Because if you worship God, you'd have kept his commandment.
That's the
That's it.
same
That's why he
as
said,
that's the same
right,
as what where they call it. They worship Satan because he listened to them. He did an act
right,
of
right,
worship and
right, right.
disobedience to Satan.
Right, right, right. Because when they disobeyed God, that okay, well, you became faithful to your wife and to the serpent and to everything that was all joined in. That's why when he punished things, he set everything in order right then and there.
Hmm.
He didn't wait. He handed down judgment so severe, but his love was still with man. You understand what I'm saying? And he told man, "I'll come and get you 5.5 days." But he set the seed, and he set the seeds apart in the war between the woman's seed and the seed of the serpent. And see, he is still trying. And you remember, even though Christ has came, that does not stop Lucifer for trying his objective. And what is his objective? To reign like the most high. So
Hmm.
I can't create humans. You understand what I'm saying? Because if he could create humans, Lucifer would have did it. But
Hmm.
he needs man to create robots, machines, intelligent machines, machines without feelings, machines that don't know God. You understand what I'm saying? Machines that are operated to one diabolical machine that's called the beast that my wife was working on. Because I told you my wife's a witch. And what she was working on and she gave her thesis on that they came after her on was, is the antichrist a machine? And I gave her that thesis, even though she got an A out of it and everything else. She was number one, the top. She was top of her class on that one because
Okay.
they came at her so viciously because we was dealing with artificial intelligence. And you don't know about CERN. I actually, if you looked at the about CERN, about the kaleidoscope,
Oh yeah.
okay. And so you know when they unleash these things and when the Shiva comes through, they're getting this here world ready so these entities can inhabit these machines and control it.
See, let me stop you right there. I know I probably said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't doubt anything in this world. Let me say that first before I say what I'm gonna say next. But when it comes to CERN, when it comes to all that scientific shit, I don't buy all the way into it. I know what it is. I know it's a particle accelerator. All I need to know is it's some kind of ritual. But what they call themselves trying to unleash has been unleashed. It's been here. So what the fuck are they trying to unleash? They've been had rain in on the earth. That's why the scriptures say woe to the earth. So what are they supposed to be releasing that's already here? That's already been set in place long before a long time ago when the deed took place in the garden. When the deed took place in Noah's time. They've been here and they've been trapped here. So what exactly do this little scientific particle acceleration rate supposed to do?
They're shoving matter into antimatter and they're trying to break the veil. And what they want to do with this anti kaleidoscope is that they want to use this kaleidoscope, which is going to break the veil, which is going to bring the demonic world into this world. Then they want to turn that same weapon around and use it when Christ comes with 10,000 of his angels in the brightness of his glory. See, they never told you about what's going to happen in the Battle of Armageddon. We're not talking about the apocalypse. We're not talking about the last war. We're talking about the Battle of Armageddon. When Christ said he'll come back, and if you read in the book of Joel, he said, I'm going to gather them together in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I'm going to plead for my people. See, they keep thinking it's a rapture coming. Yeah, oh, yeah, there's a rapture coming. It's rapture of the mind. And it's a rapture of those who are with God. He's going to, and it's a rapture of separation. But people think, and especially a lot of white evangelical Christians, and the people who have done so much hell and created so much carnage all over the world, they think that they have done all of this here carnage in this world, and Jesus Christ is going to come back, rapture you all up, and y'all don't see no tribulation. This is why people say, well, we ain't worried about the tribulation. We ain't worried about that because we're going to be gone. How are you going to be gone? And you have a price to pay when your people did nothing but shed blood all over this earth. Where do you see? And see, the rapture was put in there in the Bible, and it was put in there, and you have to go all the way back to the theologians, and you have to already go back through the Knight Templars and everything else. And if you listen to Stephen Darby, he'll tell you when that was put in there. And remember, everything was put in there to confuse even time and space, because how can we call something that is in January when it is in hibernation and is still asleep as being something new? So how can something be new, like a new year, and everything, even nature, is still asleep? So how can our new year be in January when it's still winter, when everything is still in hibernation?
Well,
But
hold up before you go there.
mhm,
Before you go to that part, let's get back over to this part. Now, you said when Jesus come back. Well, according to my research, Jesus been back.
been back when? When? Show me when has he been back? Where?
Well, you have to go to the account.
Do
You
it
have to
count?
go to the account when his apostles asked him about his return.
Do you know what they what? Say that again, because I want to get some clarification about what you're saying.
Yeah,
Please say
I'm
please
saying
say it.
exactly what you hear me saying.
Okay, say
Jesus
it.
Christ is back and he's been back.
Okay, and that is based upon when? What?
That's based upon scriptures, based upon his words.
Okay, so give me the scripture from when he said that.
Go to any one of the gospels when his apostles asked him what will be the sign of his return. And read that off and you tell me, ain't it so or not?
He said, "What will be the sign of your coming and of your return?" He said, "When you see nation rise against nation,
Mm-hmm.
and all of those things." He said,
What else? What else?
"Oh, you see nation." He
You
said that.
reading it or you just going off the head?
I'm going off the top of my head. When you see
Okay,
nation
I can,
rise
I can
against nation,
grab it if
when
you
you
if
when you hear wars and rumors of wars,
uh-huh.
right? But you've been hearing that all through your history, and that's all they've been telling you.
Okay, now keep on going. Don't stop
So
there.
when when
War
when, when
against nation, kingdom
right,
against kingdom.
right. When you hear that they talk of false antichrists, that they say here he is, he's in the desert, here he is, he's over there.
Uh-huh.
They've been doing that.
They've been doing that since Christ was
Okay,
walking around. Uh-huh.
right.
Okay.
Or now, he said, then would you? He said, but this generation,
Mm-hmm.
until everything is fulfilled, this generation shall not pass, and the summon of the coming of man shall not pass until all be fulfilled. So all is not filled yet. So he's not here.
I'm gonna go to the scripture.
Go to the scripture. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like partiality. I like the whole thing. So let me do it like this. I'm gonna go to. I always hit Matthew, so I'm gonna just stick with Matthew.
Mhm.
Let me see here, man.
Okay,
Okay, y'all ready for this?
shoot it. Let's go.
Okay, okay. I'm going to 24, Matthew 24, and I'm gonna start at verse 3. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now I'm gonna do this as expeditiously as possible. While he was sitting upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples approached him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your presence?" And, it's looking like I might have to go before that. Uh, okay. So look, let me start at 24. Just the 24, the first verse.
Mm-hmm.
Departing now, Jesus was on his way to the temple, but the disciples approached to show him the buildings of the temple. In response, he said to them, "Do not behold all these things. Truly, I say to you, by no means will a stone be left here upon a stone and not be thrown down." While he was sitting upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples approached him privately, saying, "Tell us when these things will be, and what will be the sign of your presence, and what end of the conclusion of this system." And in answer, Jesus said to them, "Look out that nobody misleads you, for many will come on the basis of my name, saying, 'I am Christ,' and I will and will mislead many. You are going to hear of wars and reports of wars. See that you are not terrified, for these things must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be food shortages and earthquakes in one place after another. All these things are a beginning of pangs of distress. Then people will deliver you up to tribulation and will kill you, and you will be objects of hatred by all the nations on account of my name. Then also many will be stumbled and will betray one another and will hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and mislead people. And because of the increasing of lawlessness, the love of the greater number will cool off. But he that has endured to the end is the one that will be saved. And this good news of the kingdom will be preached in all the inhabited earth for a witness. Hold up, y'all. To all the nations, and then the end will come. Therefore, when you catch sight of the disgusting thing that causes desolation, as spoken of through Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, let the readers, in parentheses, it say, let the reader use discernment. Then let those in Judea begin fleeing to the mountains. Let the man on the housetop not come down to take his goods out of his house, and let the man of the field not return to the house to pick up his outer garments. Woe to the pregnant woman and who's suckling a baby in those days. Keep praying that your flight may not occur in wintertime, nor on the Sabbath day. For then there will be great tribulation, such as not has occurred since the world's beginning until now, nor will occur again. In fact, unless those days were cut short, no flesh would be saved. But on the account of the chosen ones, those days will be cut short. Then, if anyone says to you, "Look, here is the Christ," or "There," do not believe it. For the Christ, for false Christs and false prophets will arise and will give great signs and wonders, so as to mislead, if possible, even the chosen ones. Look, I have forewarned you. Therefore, if people say to you, "Look, he is in the wilderness," do not go out. "Look, he is in the inner chamber," do not believe it. For just as the lightning comes out of the eastern parts and shines over the western parts, so the presence of man, or the presence of the Son of Man, will be. Whereas the carcasses is there, the eagles. I'm sorry, y'all. Wherever the carcasses is, the eagles will be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of all those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will beat themselves in lamentation, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and glory. And he will send forth his angels with a great trumpet sound, and they will gather his chosen ones together from the four winds, from one extremity of the heavens to the other extremity. Now learn from the fig tree as an illustration, this point. Just as soon as this young branch grows tender and it puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. Likewise, also you, when you see all these things, know that he is near at the door. Truly, I say to you that this generation will by no means pass away until all these things occur. Heaven, earth will pass away, but my words will be by no means pass away. Okay. Now it's a little bit more to read, but I want to rotate because I'm at verse number 36 right now. I want to get your thoughts on some of what I read, Mongoose, concerning the events taking place on the sign of his presence. Oh, hey, Bree, I'm sorry, sir. What's going on, brother?
Man, what up, though?
Hey, did you have any input in there before the Mongoose get cut loose again?
Uh,
Got any
no,
input so far?
no.
Okay, okay. So, Mongoose, what's your thoughts on the events taking place during the sign of his presence?
Okay, see now. This is where void of understanding comes in at. You see, what I'm saying this is where parts come in at because you, like everybody else, have to learn to take things whole. He's speaking in certain parts. The parts where, let's go back to where he said when they showed him the temple. When they
Uh-huh.
showed him the temple and everything else, he said there should not be one stone left upon another that should not be thrown down. Now, in 70 AD, the Roman general Titus came into Jerusalem and destroyed the temple.
Uh-huh.
Christ died in 30 AD. 40 years later, in 70 AD, that's when the Roman general Titus came in and destroyed the temple. And the Jews scattered. They went into Africa. That's one.
Uh-huh.
That's why he said, don't let them that be on the rooftop come down, let them not take anything out. Because when they came into and they destroyed Jerusalem, there was no need for you to come back home because your home was destroyed. And the Jews had no home. And we're talking about black folks. They went into Africa. So how can you be white and you run into Africa? I'm just trying to figure that out. But hold that thought though. So they ran into Africa. And as I was speaking earlier, they knew who we were and they knew who we are. Christopher Columbus knew exactly who he was going after. So all of that story that Christopher Columbus was looking for a new world and he was looking to go to Asia. How you gonna look to go to Asia? And you already know only thing you had to do was follow the streets of Napoleon, because Napoleon went to Asia all the way up there through Russia, and that's where he got conquered or stopped at. And he came back down, you know what I'm saying? Because he couldn't conquer it because one, it was too cold up there. But that's another story. That's another story of history. We're gonna worry about that later. But anyway, when we went into Africa, because the land of Judah is in Africa and it stretches from the river Nile to the river Euphrates, which is between Egypt and Ethiopia, but they hid our land and they put other countries over there. But that's another story. We're going to leave that there. That's the first part when he said there will not be left one stone upon another, there shall not be torn down. And let him that is on the rooftop not come down and take anything up out of his house. That's another part. So that part has already happened. Now, concerning the part where they said, here is Christ, he is here, he's over there, and everything else, that did not come until you had really basically social media or television or radio.
So you telling me they were so primitive that they didn't have a way of communication back then?
Oh, no. They communicated, but in order for it to reach the world, they had to have what? Telecommunication. So it just didn't stay in a region, because when the fame of Christ went around, it went out all around that region and everything else, as they would call it, all around the world. Because remember, the United States haven't been discovered yet.
So they say.
Now,
I don't believe that part neither. Scripture say nothing is new up under the sun. Hey, Mongoose, if you're talking, I can't hear you. You might have pushed pause by mistake or unhooked your mic. Just relax, Mongoose. Hey, don't be swinging at the air and shit when you're getting your point across. Yeah, you might have to drop off and come back in. Oh, did I hear something? Yeah, you probably have to drop off and come back in. Now, see, Mongoose, in the meantime, I want you to elaborate on the events taking place, but let's try to do it as expeditiously as possible. Like, go through them all and knock them off. Let's knock them off. Let's talk about whether it happened then, and not only happened then, and then what about if it's still happening now? What about if it's an increase of everything that has already happened?
You talking about the return of Jesus Christ?
Yeah, these events that I was reading off of, and I still got a little bit more to add to it. You know, as far as them asking this question, he's still not finished giving the answer, but before, you know, the people that's not really into it, you know, fall asleep, I want to try to cut it in half and elaborate on a little bit of it, and then delve off into the rest of it. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty worth hearing, especially to that question. The question he asked me and me answering the question. So it's pretty, you know, maybe I could take this opportunity to finish it up now while he's fixing his technical difficulties. He probably still think he talking to her because he noticed his screen ain't moving. He's snapping right now. I don't even know it. He don't even know we on here right now. All right, so listen, I'm going to read the rest of this, Bree. I'm going to start at verse 36, still in the 24th chapter. Okay, let's do this. Concerning that day and hour, nobody knows, neither the angels of the heavens nor the Son, but only the Father. For just as the days of Noah were, so the presence of the Son of Man will be. For as they were in those days before the flood, eating and drinking, men marrying, and women being given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And they took no note until the flood came and swept them all away. So the presence of the Son of Man will be. Then two men will be in the field. One will be taken along and the other will be abandoned. Two women will be at the grinding mill, One will be taken along, and the other will be abandoned. Okay, hold up. Hey,
All right, can you hear me?
okay, let me get this one up out of here.
All right.
Boom. Okay, and let's see. Can I pick from? Okay, I'm gonna get that one. I'm scared it might kick you too, but if it do, just come back. All right, Mongo.
All right, copy that.
Trying to get rid of this other screen. You still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, now hold up. I'm continuing my reading. I'm at verse number 40. No, I'm at verse number 42. Keep on the watch, therefore, because you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But know one thing, that if the householder had known in what if the householder had known in what watch the thief was coming, he would have kept awake and not allow his house to be broken into. On this account, you too prove yourselves ready, because at an hour that you do not think to be it, the Son of Man is coming. Who really is the faithful and discreet slave, whom his master appointed over his domestics to give them their proper food at the proper time? Happy is the slave if his master on arriving finds him doing so. Truly, I say to you, he will appoint him over all his belongings. But if ever that evil slave should say in his heart, my master is delaying, and should start to beat his fellow slaves, and should eat and drink with the confirmed drunkards, the master of that slave will come on a day that he does not expect, and in an hour that he does not know, and will punish him with the greatest severity, and will assign him his part with the hypocrites. There is where his weeping and the gnashing of his teeth will be. Then the kingdom of the heavens will become like 10 virgins that took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were discreet. For the foolish took their lamps, but took no oil with them, whereas the discreet took oil in their receptacles and their lamps. While the bridegroom was delaying, they all nodded and went to sleep. Right in the middle of the night, there arose a cry. Here's the bridegroom. Be on your way out to meet him. Then all those virgins rose and put their lamps in order. The foolish said to the discreet, give us some of your oil, because our lamps are about to go out. The discreet answered with the words, perhaps there may not be quite enough for us and you. Be on your way instead to those who sell it and buy for yourselves. While they were going off to buy, the bridegroom arrived, and the virgins that were ready went in with him to the marriage feast, and the door was shut. Afterwards, the rest of the virgins also came, saying, Sir, sir, open to us. In answer, he said, I tell you the truth, I do not know you. Keep on the watch, therefore, because you know neither the day nor the hour. For it is just as when a man about to travel abroad summons slaves to his and summons slaves of his, and has committed to them his belongings. And to one he gave 5 talents, to the other 2, to another 1, to each one according to his own ability. And he went abroad. Immediately, the one that had the 5 talents went off his way and did business with them and gained 5 more. In the same way, the one that received the 2 gained 2 more. But the one that received just 1 went off and dug in the ground and hid the silver money of his master. After a long time, the master of those slaves came and settled accounts with them. So the one that had received 5 talents came forward and brought 5 additional talents, saying, Master, you committed 5 talents to me. See, I gained five more. His master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful over a few things." Flipping the page, y'all. "I will appoint you over my things. Enter into the joy of your master." Next, the one that had received 2 talents came forward and said, "Master, you committed to me 2 talents. I gained 2 talents more." His master said to him, well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful over a few things. I will appoint you over many things. Enter into the joy of your master." Finally, the one that had received the 1 talent came forward and said, "Master, I knew you to be an exacting man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you did not winnow. So I grew afraid and went off and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours." In reply, his master said to him, "Wicked and sluggish slave, you knew, did you, that I reaped where I did not sow and gathered where I did not winnow? Well, then, you ought to have deposited my silver with the bankers, and on my arrival, I will be receiving what is mine with interest. Therefore, take away the talent from him and give it to him that has the 10 talents. For to anyone, my bad, for to everyone that has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But as for him that does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. And throw the good for nothing slave out into the darkness outside. There's where the weeping and the gnashing of the teeth will be." I'm going to cut and stop at 30, 31. Now, Mongo.
Hey, Big. Oh, go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, you go ahead.
What was that first pass read? The first was that man?
Yeah, you breaking up too, Bree.
Was that the first passage you read? Was that a passage from Matthew or Mark? The first one.
No, this is Matthew 24,
That was Matthew
chapter
you read.
24. Yeah,
And what you just read now.
that was some of, I read from 39 all the way to 25.
Matthew,
Uh,
right?
yeah, all the way to
Okay, thank you.
25, 30.
All right, thank you. I thought you was in Mark. Okay,
Nope, I'm in Matthew.
all right, cool.
What's up, observing? What's up, Ninja Jiraiya? How y'all doing? Thanks for coming through. I bring blessings, y'all. I bring blessings. You hear this conversation, 9 times out of 10, you stick around, you're gonna hear something that's going on in your life, or not. But just, to your best ability, pay attention, because these are actually things you want to know and need to know. Okay, now Mongoose. I got wars. I got people, believers of Christ, being persecuted. Now, not only was it happening back then, is it happening now too?
Of course it is, but only certain things, only certain parts are happening. Just as I explained to you before, it's all like a puzzle. Um, when God speaks in past, present, and future
Mm-hmm.
all at the same time, and He speaks throughout all the dimensions at the same time. See, now you got your Bible right there, right?
Uh-huh.
I want you to go to Genesis chapter 15.
Hold up, you got to give me a second, man. I didn't read myself dizzy, man. But you said
Okay.
Genesis 15?
Yeah, yeah. Or whoever has a Bible. Who else has a Bible? Buzz, do you have a Bible with you?
Go ahead, bro. I got 15. What?
Okay, okay. Go to chapter 15 and read
Hmm.
to me, starting at verse 14.
You got a specific. You got a preferred
Translate.
Version,
Uh,
translation.
I basically would like the king. Well, it doesn't make a difference because
King
when
James,
you
no
speak,
problem.
yeah, when you speak, I'm thinking of the King James version, and I'm gonna tell you
Gotcha.
why
All
King
right.
James. I'm gonna tell
You
you
say
why King James. Wait,
14,
yeah, no,
14,
Genesis chapter
15,
15, yep,
mm-hmm,
verse
verse
14. I think.
14.
Read that for me.
And also the nation whom they shall serve
Okay, now
will
back that
I
up, back that up, back that up, back that up. Go to Genesis. Read the 13th verse. Read 13.
13. And he
Yep.
said unto Abram, know of a certainty that they seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 100 years.
Now hold that right there. Now that coincides with the tearing down of the temple when the Roman general Titus came and destroyed the temple and the Jews scattered. When he said there will be left no stone upon the other that shall not be thrown down, and let him that is in the mountaintops not come down, or him on the rooftop not come down and take anything out of his house. That now that's back in Genesis when God said that, even before Christ came. Because when they tore the temple down and they scattered and went into Jerusalem, I mean, they scattered and went to Africa, and we went into Africa and we went off to the West Coast. What did they do to the black folks or to the black Jews? They only sold one particular people into slavery, and that was the Jews. That was our people. Those were our descendants. And we were slow and we were sold into slavery off the slave coast, and we are the ones that we are the only people that is well documented that we went into slavery, and we've been in slavery for 400 years, and we came over here in this United States of America in ships. Name me what other group can claim that.
Well, depending on what continent you on, it's probably quite a few
I'm
groups
gonna
that
say, I'm gonna ask this one
that.
more time. They no, we ain't talk King KC. Let's not go there.
Oh,
Name
we
me
got to
one
go
group
there.
that can
We
claim
got to
that.
go there.
No, 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 no. Name me one group that can claim that.
It's probably a few. I ain't gonna say really. I don't prescribe to that bullshit.
Okay, but go ahead. But
Period.
this from the Bible. This from the Bible. So we're not gonna discuss
It's
that. But
it's
go
it's
ahead.
from the Bible, but you
Right, right,
telling
right,
me that
right, right.
you telling me that I'm affected by what happened to this particular people, I'ma say not.
Okay, okay. We about to move on. Go ahead. Finish reading, Bree. Go ahead.
All right. All right. That was chapter 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Was all right. So I'm
There will be
okay.
afflicted 400 years. Now go ahead.
Okay. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
Now
And
hold it right
thou
there. Now hold it right there. After that, when he judged that nation that had put his people into slavery for those 400 years. Now they said, according to history, we came over here in what 1619, and the 400 years ended in what 2019. But go ahead now, finish reading.
and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
So
But
hold up, Bree. Before you, I want you to start over on that. Hold up before you go off into that though. So you saying after 2019 that slavery was over with, huh?
No, the paradox shifted.
The paradox shifted.
Right.
Okay, so do that disqualify somebody that's so-called black from being a part of the involved in being a part of the curse?
If they're Hebrew, we're up under the curse that our ancestors put up under, and from what God said. Now, everybody is not under the same curse. There are curses, but everybody's not up under the same curse. Now, the curse that we're up under is one. the curse that was made. Well, that's not even the curse, but he just told us what was going to happen. The curse that we're up under is the curse our ancestors made when they cursed us at the foot of the cross.
When you
Not
say
only that,
when you
no,
say
okay,
we're up under, what you mean by
okay.
we're? I mean we.
What you mean?
You said
If
you said
no,
the
okay. Now we're about to go back through this here all over again.
no no no
And,
no no
and
no no. I don't want you to go back. I'm trying to make sure I know what you're talking about when you say the curse that we up under.
okay, now
Are you
let's
saying
not.
black or are you
Now
saying
now
believers in
come on,
Christ?
Casey. Let's not go there because we already know
We
you talking
gotta
about.
go there. That's what
No,
my
no,
channel is about. Going there. Yes, yes,
okay.
yes.
Well, since
Conversation
you
must
want,
be had.
now since you want to go there,
Mm-hmm.
let me be particular.
Mm-hmm.
Since you feel like that your ancestors are not the black people, are not Jews, that they're should I say Indians and everything else, let me particulate this here thing to you that you have not even said to me. Now, did you not know, according to from what I have read, from what the Indians believe, because they worship spirits and everything else, they
Uh-huh.
believe that they're part of the children of the Nephilim. They believe that they are part of the children of the fallen angels.
Okay.
Because the Indians, they worship the moon, the stars, the sun. They worship everything. You hear of Christ, or you hear of God, but it's not our God. But now, this is what I want to dive into. For people who want to claim that they're Indian or they're from descendants of Indian, we know you want to belong to somebody. That's what everybody do. If you ain't Indian, you want to be African. If you ain't African, you want to be Egyptian.
Now
If you
hold up.
ain't
See,
Egyptian,
that's my point. I don't
no,
give a
no, hold up,
fuck. Hold up, hold
hold
up.
up.
Let me get this out. Let me get this out because I hear where you're going, and I don't want you to waste your breath. I don't give a fuck about what those Indians believed in. They didn't believe what I believe now. They didn't know what I know now. I hope. I hope they didn't know what I know now and still worship spirits and all this shit because that mean they damn. That mean they hit. So when you talk about belonging to a group, I don't give a fuck about no group. Period. I ain't talking about no Israelite. I ain't talking about no Indian. I ain't talking about no this, no West End. None of that shit I prescribe to.
No, it's
No, none
obvious
of
that
them
you do
no
because no, it's obvious that you do because when I say we and we were sold into slavery, did you have an offense against it? You say, well, what are you talking about
an
we and what are you
offense.
talking
No,
about
no.
us?
See, you confusing an offense up with a question. My question is why is everybody black have to be affiliated with a fake ass story about ships that floated overseas with hundreds and thousands of Africans that can't be motherfucking bagged up.
You hold up, wait a minute. It says right there in the Bible. Now you talking about you don't believe in that Bible?
Oh, I believe everything in the Bible took place, but I don't believe it has nothing to do with you or you or I.
Okay. But hold up. That's going look. Write that down because that's gonna be our next discussion. Right there. But we're gonna go ahead and finish
Uh
and
huh.
let him read. We're gonna finish and let him read because you already know it's a whole lot that we can cover.
Whenever
Look,
you're ready to have
right.
the discussion, the
Yeah.
conversation is
No, write that
already
down because
ready
that's
for
going
you.
right. That's gonna be another. That's gonna be another show.
Uh huh.
No,
Uh huh.
everything is good, man.
Hey,
Oh man, this is real
it's
good.
only 2 o'clock now. It's
Yeah,
whatever. It could be
No,
9 if you
I
want
got
it to be.
I got to go to work,
You
man.
did? Okay.
I
All right.
I
I'm
got to
just
go to
letting
work.
you know.
But go ahead and finish reading. Go ahead and finish reading. Brother, I forgot your name. I can't see your name that good.
That's
Oh,
Bridge.
Bree. All right, go ahead and finish reading, Bree.
but in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the in for the iniquity of the
For
Amorites
the
is
iniquities.
not
Yep,
yet
yep, yep,
full.
yep. Uh huh.
And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those people. And the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, until thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river. the river Euphrates. The the Canaanites and the
Jebusites.
Kenizzites
Yeah, the
and
Kenites.
the
Yep.
Canaanites
Uh-huh.
and the Hittites and the
Parasites.
parentheses
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and the Ramphoses and
Uh-huh.
the
Uh-huh.
Amorites and the Canaanites and the
Right. The
Gershites
Je-
and
the
the
Jebusites, right?
Jebusites.
The Hittites.
Right. That's it.
Uh,
That's the end of the chapter.
okay, now. Remember all now those are nations that's basically has been wiped out. All except for the Philistines. Those that's over there in Palestine. And now the other ones have assumed other names. Their names has been changed. Now I want you to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. If you can do that, please.
28 verse 68.
Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you.
Which means no man shall deliver you, no man which shall help you in your bondage. But go ahead.
That's it. That's the last verse in
Okay.
the chapter.
Now, as I was saying, and see, now I got the, and we're gonna save this here for another discussion for another day. Can no other people claim that except for one? And that was the people that was sold into slavery, and that's us. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to get back with y'all. We have to finish this discussion. I got to get up in a few hours. My brothers, I thank you all. I love you all. My prayers is with y'all. That peace be unto y'all and to all your families till we meet again. All right.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right,
All right,
man.
brother.
All right.
All right. Take care. God bless.
Yeah, be safe.
All right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, see, I told you, Bree, ahead of time that we have a lot of parallels with each other, but we have a
Hmm.
lot of contrast with each other as well. So you
Yeah.
mean to tell me this was written in the Genesis, which this is one of the books that Moses read. So let's say this book was written uh in the time of Moses about our past, right? And
Right.
you telling me this 400 years didn't happen in between that time or a time soon after that? You understand what I'm saying? You
Right.
just want to say it happened several thousand years later?
Right.
And that's what my argument come in. If I go into digging, I probably find a couple sects that
Mm-hmm.
can say they fall up under that. You feel what I'm saying? But see,
Mm-hmm.
I only know what I'm programmed to know. I only know what's going on over here on this side of the water.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna even step out there and act like I know and I don't really know. I'm not gonna do that, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
with that in mind, that's why I always ask a question. Have you checked
Mm-hmm.
out Dane Calloway yet?
Dang, Callaway.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Well, type that in, man. I need you to go sub to him. I need you to give him about a couple hours of your time, and give you something to think about this school stuff we was fed. My brother brought up Christopher Columbus. Now good and damn well, what relevancy Christopher Columbus have to do with reality. See, the thing is, only thing I needed to hear was one lie. When I heard the one lie concerning Christopher Columbus, that was out the window.
Mm.
That was out the window for me. And even if it did have some truth to it, the way it was fed to me was in a deceptive fashion. So I'm going to dismiss the whole fucking scenario.
Mm.
Period. That's just the way I work.
You say
You can't
Dan
just,
Callaway?
huh?
Dan Callaway?
Dane, Dayne, Calloway.
Gotcha.
And see what Dane did. Dane, he probably was a silver spoon ass nigga. You understand? And I don't mean
Mm-hmm.
that no disrespect to Dane. But what he did was spend his own money and whatever money he got donated to him. And he did the research on top of the research. The stuff that he couldn't find online, he actually went out and went to the museums to get this
Mm-hmm.
information.
Mm.
He really did some digging, and he really shut down the conscious community. The conscious community really started hating him because they couldn't get at him. See, he went as far as asking where the boats, where the records from the boats. Since these events happened, these things was recorded. Where's the records? See, he went deep, Bree. He went way deeper than I ever thought about going. And the only reason he did that, the fuel that made him do that was this story that we're fed in school and on TV. Because we never got this story from our the older people in our neighborhoods or in our families. We got this story on TV. We got these stories from people that represents foundations that's anti-black. When you talk about the Rothschild, you ever listen to the sponsors when you look at WPBS? The
What's that?
MacArthur Foundation, listen to those names. When you look at PBS, look at a show, and right before it come on or right before it go off, it tell you who the sponsors of it is. See, understand the people that so-called represent this information that's being gave out are known Satanists. Known. They are known bullies to mankind. So when you talk about these people actually giving you untainted with information, you start to wonder, well, why do we condemn this book that we know that's been tampered with? And then these people tell us this history they give us has been tampered with, but we just eat it wholeheartedly. We just eat it up. We even use it in our arguments. See, I don't use none of their information in my arguments. I try to use what we can put our fingers on.
Right.
That's what I try to do. And there's a lot of things going on that you should be able to do that. You shouldn't have to go to the extremes of using these people words against themselves. You can use that later, but for the most part, let's see what we can identify with our own eyes without somebody telling us what to see or what to think. You did what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the brother brought up how the Judeans was going over and hiding inside of Africa. See, let me tell the ignorant, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean the people that don't know. The way you tell people that's the same color skin apart is their customs, is their culture. They dress different. They wear things different. Like you may go overseas right now, you see a guy my color, and he got on a big ass dress, a big ass gown. And that's their dress code over there. Man, you may think him, you may go up to him, brother, hey brother, and this dude talk to you in a whole nother language. So you don't go off. See, that's the trap. You go off skin color. They got you in isolation. They got you looking at the world through one-eyed lens. See, you got to look at a person's culture. You got to look at a person's mannerism. You can even go deeper than that and look at their head structure, their bone structure in their face, how broad the chin, the nose is, the ears. See, all that stuff is representations of where you came from in the world or where your descendant, where your line of descension come from. Now, these people got these fools out here just looking at color skin. And me and you both know we done seen the Rasta man and we done seen motherfucking Arabs that's darker than us and don't speak our language or speak a whole different language. You feel what I'm saying? So
Right.
you can't fall for the bullshit. See, they told us in their
Mm.
writings hundreds of years ago that they will use this against us as a tool. And you got all these intelligent people that just side back, that just step to the side and act like they don't know this. How you don't know this and everything they said they was gonna do is happening right now in our time.
Mm.
Everything they said they was gonna do, Bree, is happening right now. So how can you still deny? Yeah, these people said this book was a farce, but how do you question? How do you even believe something like that from a people that's told that's based off that's foundation is based on secrets? How can you trust anything they say if you can't put a finger on it? Oh yeah, this is a Christian nation, but here they got witchcraft all over this motherfucker. And I know Christ didn't prescribe. You don't know about Christ and ain't into that, but he didn't prescribe to no magic or no witchcraft. You ain't never heard him drawing no pinnacle, no 5-pointed star on the ground and putting a circle around it and doing a seance around this bitch. So how you a Christian nation following this dude that you call Christ? How is that so? And you got witchcraft all designed in your streets. You ever seen that diagram of Washington D.C.?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you already know about the Pentagon. You already know what that is. And then you got the what else you got? Y'all got the phallic that's sitting up there in Washington, D.C. See, people don't understand witchcraft, Satanism, all that stuff ain't nothing but sex magic. That's all it's about. Satan wants blood. Satan wants sodomy. That's the only way you can truly celebrate or worship Satan. It's the stuff that they know God don't like. Killing people, setting innocent people up, breaking up families. This is what they do. This is what they thrive off of. You know how we enjoy talking about having a conversation about God. Is he real or ain't he? See, these people thrive off lies, off blood, off corruption. You know how all these police be tracking down these thieves and these, man, a lot of times it do be the police doing this. They get the last say so on the police report.
Yeah.
Such and such died. Here they got cameras everywhere, but can't catch a nigga shooting a gun. They still on the run. They still haven't been caught yet. How not? They literally got cameras everywhere, bro. They got them in places you can see, and they got them in places you can't see. And they've been doing this for a long time. They ain't just start this. They've been doing it for a long time. You see people going to Congress complaining about this shit, man, in the 70s, the 60s. And they didn't came up since then with technology. Hell, you can go in the store right now and buy a camera the size of your finger. I mean, come on, man. Come on. It's time to put the baby food down and goddamn me pick up the knife and fork. It ain't time for people to play super naive right now. You talking about your life being at stake. So when I told the brother and my beliefs, see, he talking about when Christ come. See, my beliefs is way different than that. That's why I say don't no ancestor have no hold on me. I'm not an ancestor worshiper. I don't worship John the Baptist, and I don't worship them people. What I do is learn from their mistakes and learn from their gains. I don't worship them. And brothers say, well, everybody want to belong to somebody. Hey, shame on them. Because I don't give I don't give two shits about what they was doing. I know what I'm not gonna do.
Well, that's false. Everybody don't have to belong. Everybody don't feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but that's that defensive mechanism that come out and try to spark up anger so that you won't finish the conversation. See, I'm
Mm,
familiar with that tactic. It don't work on me. No,
mm,
you can feel like somebody want to belong to somebody, but it sounds like you're more guilty of that than anything.
mm.
You talking
Right.
about you belong to some people, and then listen to the people that they belong to. Listen to how they talk about these motherfucking Israelites.
Mm,
I mean, what? Them white people ain't the real Jews. We the real Jews. And okay, and you saying that to say what? Y'all better? I see these motherfuckers every day on this motherfucking TV screen, on this computer screen, tearing each other ass up. So you saying
yeah.
y'all better than these rich white uh, fake Jews? I mean, what you trying to say? Because if we go to the scriptures, and they do their homework on the scriptures. If we go to the scriptures, you guys are not very good people.
Mm,
You guys are the worst of the worst. That's why when they try to come to me and talk about some 144,000 Jews, so you got to remember, God did away with the flesh after Christ came and died. The flesh was only relevant because it was a promise that this seed would come from a certain bloodline.
mm,
See, Bree, after that was accomplished, God threw away the flesh thing because the flesh had been all the way corrupted after Christ came. After Christ came, it was over with. Let me tell you what the disciples thought about what these brothers doing when they talk about a certain sect. Now I'm gonna read this slow, right?
mm,
This is at Titus chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. It say, but shun foolish questioning and genealogies and strife and fights over the law, for they are unprofitable and futile. For
mm,
as a man that promotes a sect rejects him after a first and a second admonition, knowing that such a man has been turned out of the way and is sinning, he being self-condemned. So what this is saying is, if you talk about a person that claim that they're with Christ, but yet they keep on promoting a certain sect, and
mm.
that's what we're talking about right now, right, Bree?
Right.
We're talking about promoting what they say, the black people, which they have made into a sect, and we're talking about the Israelite people, right?
Yeah.
We're considered a sect, right? So it says that way of thinking ain't even supposed to be in our repertoire. We gave it all up.
You
So
mean the set? He's talking about the set way of thinking.
yeah, like promoting a sect, like promoting, like say you black power, or say you a white supremacist. You know how they promote, their color or
Mm-hmm.
their culture,
Mm-hmm.
right? That would be like promoting a sect. We
Oh,
the
okay.
real Jews. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it has some type of significance to it. I'm promoting that.
Mm.
But you see this man right here, this apostle from the first century said that we should what? We should shun foolish questionings and genealogies. Now we do know what genealogies mean, right? That was what you was just reading up here, Bree.
Right.
You talking about the Hamites and all that stuff. See,
Right.
what this prophet is trying to get, or should I say, what this apostle is trying to get us to understand is Christ has already come and gone. This stuff is foolishness now. And see, this is a thought process coming from the first century. This ain't years and years and years later. So from this point on, the first century congregation, the first congregation of Christ said that these things should not be allowed. It say that As for a man that promotes a sect, reject him after a first and a second admonition. So that's when I hear Stephen Darby, I have a lot in common with the brother, a lot in common with him. But when I hear him go from spiritual things back into this lie, I question that. And you talk about intelligence, I get that man mad kudos, man, because he know how to articulate, he know how to make the scriptures understanding to you, but he has this switch he hit where he goes off into black, white, this and that, and that's where I feel like something's still clouded. Maybe he was done real wrong as a child, or something happened to his family that was race involved.
You talking about Dan
Yeah.
Calloway?
No, this is Stephen Darby. That's another one you got to write down too, because he give you some good type of teaching too.
Okay.
But Stephen Darby, he break it down, man, to where an unbeliever, unbeliever, a real deep anti-Christ type of person can understand his teachings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's definitely somebody you want to check out. But see, when he flip off into this black white thing, then I start moonwalking on him, because hey, we ain't got no business talking about that. We already signed the agreement with Christ. We already said we following him, right? We said that he's our master, right? So when we do that, that means that way that the world think goes to the wayside. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's no longer white folk, black folks, because we got white folks that believe the same thing that we believe. They're actually our brothers and sisters. So why are we thinking like these pro-black and Israelite people, or you not the chosen one, you not this, that, and the other, putting somebody down? Why are we rotating off what they talking about? That's foolishness. And this is a brother that knows, that says that this is the word of God. He believes exactly what I believe when it comes to God and Christ. So if that's the case, I'm no better than Brother Darby. He's way more better, and man, he helped his sons learn instruments, man. I'm talking about a bad man, brother. He's a bad man. But he still has this side where he slips off into imperfection. I'm gonna just say that. Because I'm telling you, Bree, way before this brother was thought of, they made the plan to use people's skin against each other. Period. And when you go back and read that plan, man, not just people of different skin color, he said he was going to use the gays against the straights. Everybody that's different from each other, he going to pit them against each other. This group of people is going to pit them against each other one way or the other. That's why you see it on the news so frequently. And if you don't see it on your local news, CNN and Fox, MSNBC and all that shit going to catch it for you. Look at this white cop shoot this innocent guy. Look at this black woman beat up this innocent white girl. They always got it for you. Just in case you thinking, okay, la-di-da, we all together and blah, blah, blah. Here the news come. Here the news come. And then here come your famous faces. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, you know, bringing in on it. So when people see them faces, they, oh, no, this real. This ain't no, you know, this ain't fake right here. This real. Jesse Jackson just got up there talking about it. Tom Brady said something about it. See, this is where the fame plays a role at. Understand that all these people you see on this screen, not our screen people, on that mainstream is bought and paid for. Nigga, you wouldn't know their personal thoughts even if you paid for it. They're not allowed to give you their personal thought unless it coincides with whatever station they rolling with. These people are built off secrecy. Why would you trust a person that rotates off secrets? That means if you ask a question and that question has something to do with something they can't talk about, that they are going to lie to you. They're going to be dishonest to you. Dishonest comes from the serpent. Dishonest comes from Satan. Jesus Christ calls Satan the father of the lie. So why would you trust a person that's built off secrecy, that's with people, that's with a brotherhood or sisterhood built off secrecy? Why would you do this?
Hmm.
And mark my word, Bree, everybody you see on TV playing sports, news, everybody you see on TV is a part of this clique. Pay attention to how they sit up in your face, and out of all the things they can do with their hand, what they do with them. They either give you a pyramid pointed up or a pyramid pointed down. And see, people don't really, I'm going to ride my baby girl on this one here. People really don't like this type of teaching. You understand what I'm saying? They really don't like to hear because it's in our neighborhood. We got close friends that's involved in it. And my thing is this, I'm not shunning my people, but I do want you to know what you're being involved in. They do have libraries set up so that you can go learn and see what you're involved in. But most people only gonna look at what they want to look at. They're not gonna look at nothing that they have a feeling that's gonna tell them something they don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying, Bree?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
gonna pass that up because you know the thing is, okay, what if Curl is telling the truth about this, that, and the other? Now I'm
yeah.
caught in the motherfucking, I'm caught in a bottleneck now.
Right. But
So
the thing, yeah, but the thing is, how do you know what the truth is about that? About the passage about the slaves and the 400 years and shit.
mhm.
Like, what do you do? Do you go in history? To your point, you can't trust the history. So how do you substantiate that? So you will try to believe in the right thing as it relates to that passage, and you want to believe that you want to believe well, you believe that the Bible says something about people being slaves 400 years and passage through water, right? The thing is, how do you know which event to believe is what they talking about?
Okay, let me tell you how I break this down, Bree. What I do is I go with a scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
I take one of these scenarios
Mm-hmm.
and I take it as far as running into deception. When they come, and you remember how I was telling you how Satan's tricks may come in different forms, but it's always the same language at the end of the day.
Right.
When they come with things like they got records of this from way back then, they got records of that from way back then. And then when you ask the question, where's the records to this, that, and the other from this time period? Oh, it
Mm-hmm.
was lost, or uh something happened to it. Well, how do you know that the information that you told us about was right? And it comes out that we didn't know, but we took an educated guess on this, that, and the other. See, you get off into a lot of that when you go trying to find out the truth about this world. And what I tell people is when that happens, disassociate yourself from that. Because when it comes to truth, it shouldn't be no part where you run into deception at.
Let me ask you this. Is it possible that you could find out the exact people that the Bible was talking about in Genesis, what he read?
Well, see, my thing is, I'm not denying that what happened to these people happened to these people. What
Mm-hmm.
I'm denying is the proof of this
Cool.
happening to these people in their time or right after this time. Why do it necessarily have to be the people in our time?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because
Nah, yeah, I get what you're saying.
the scriptures say there's nothing new up under the sun. See,
Right.
we all know that when it comes to war, that the winning faction always kill and take slaves. We know this. So we know it's a possibility that slaves were transported over ships. We can understand that. But when it comes to explaining how they give us pictures of how things were set up, and then you start to live and you start to learn where the human body can only do this much and can only go through these much extincts, or should I say, go through so much hardship. Uh, and they tell you how so many people died over so many periods of time with every piece of every time they came to and fro. So then they come up with this number. Well, prove the number, because you're saying only a certain amount of people was here. So if only a certain amount of people is here, how can you have millions being governed by a couple hundred people?
Right.
A couple 100,000 people. And then you claiming these people were warriors, these people was this and that, they was, they was heat, they was Pharaoh and all this, but y'all able to tame them, huh? With just this little amount of people. So give us the serial numbers to everything that's born in this world got a birth date on it. So give us the number to these ships. Give us the proof of the people that made the ships. See, all this stuff is made possible when something is created, and or should I say, what's up, Mno? When something is giving registered in this world. So this is information. If you've given us all this information about what's happening, this information ought to be should be ascertained as well, right?
Yeah. Well, that goes to my point. If you believe that pretty much the um historical evidence, or if you believe that historically things have been tampered with throughout the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
How can you go about substantiating um the verse the brother brought up? If history has been tampered with, how can you substantiate the Bible at all?
Well, see, you go off. See, I always tell people when it comes to this person saying this in the Bible, I've never been lied to by the Bible. You feel me? Man has lied to me repeatedly, but I haven't got one lie from the Bible. So when it comes to credibility, I'm gonna go with the person that has the most credibility.
So let me just get this straight. Even though you can't fact check it.
Say that again.
I say you're gonna go with the Bible, even though you can't fact check it.
Oh, I fact check it every day. I told you I give the Bible credit for me changing my life around. It came to me, you know how I was telling you to go on the most sacred part of your house and say pray what I told you to pray.
Yeah, I was talking about fact checking historically.
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. When it comes to the Bible, there is just no physical way. There's several ways to fact check.
And that's
See,
through
when it
belief.
comes,
That's through belief. That's through belief in
faith,
personal experience, right?
faith and personal experience. Yep. And
Can
on
I? I can.
the things I see every day. So
So
it's like
so let me.
when
Go
it
ahead.
comes to like proving the Bible as far as just showing you things like being able to make a page turn by itself or something like that. See, the Bible can't be explained that way. The Bible had to be explained where the Bible can be talked about and be broken down. But the Bible, the entails of the Bible literally has to be explained to you by God, because God is the only being that can open your heart and your mind and really understand what it's saying. Like, you can read the words, right? But you read the words and you be like, shit, I don't even know what I just read. I know what it's saying, but that really don't have no impact on me. And it don't have an impact because you haven't properly asked for it yet. I'm gonna say that. You haven't properly been asked upon. But I assure you, when you do, slowly but surely, you're gonna end up sitting in my seat.
No 76 says fact check through logical vision.
I wouldn't even call it logical, because a lot of things the creator do, you can't explain with logic. You
If
can
we
use
can't,
it.
if we can't explain what the creator does, and we are, and the Bible also says we're flawed, right? That our intellect compared to God's is very, 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 very low, right?
Not necessarily. A lot of people, it's low by choice to a lot of people.
Well,
Not
it says
because it just is.
that God's ways are not of ours, so we can't understand what his logic is. Would you agree with that?
No, that's partial of the scripture, but the scripture actually says something a little bit more detailed. You got that scripture?
I don't, but you can explain it if I'm getting it
Yeah,
wrong.
I would have to go through it though. But yeah, you're on the track, but it's a little bit more detailed than what you said.
Okay, so basically I'm trying to say that God's ways are not our ways, so we can't comprehend what his
Fully,
ways are.
we can't fully comprehend.
So if we can't fully comprehend God, how is it possible that we can identify with him at all?
Well, you don't really, according to me, you don't really fully have to understand God. I mean, in due time, you remember I was telling you what I wasn't sitting with easy. With what Christ said, you can't love your father, your mother more than me, or you're not worthy of me. See, when I was a babe, I definitely didn't understand that. I had a beef with that. But as a grown man that have experienced a lot more life than I did at the time I first ran into it, I can fully understand what he mean by that. I can fully understand. But yeah, when it comes to describing, you would have to put your hand in a cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? What I mean?
In other words, I got to step out on faith and believe before I substantiate the belief, substantiate the God, right?
I wouldn't call asking a make believe or a being I don't really believe in as stepping out on faith. I would call it just testing it out. I would call it a tester. I wouldn't call it stepping out on faith. Stepping out on faith would be like I'm gonna get on my knees and bow down to this being or statue several thousand times, and if I do it, it's promised that this, that, and the other gonna happen, or something fanatical. But it's not really. That's why I say when I get to the part where I start explaining this Bible, it's gonna be way more simple than we've been taught. It's not going
So
to be as technical as one might thought.
so if God is nothing more than something that I can test, like it's like, why would I want to test it if I don't believe in it?
Is that the question you want to ask?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You said if you don't.
Let me explain it again. If
Uh-huh.
I don't believe in God,
Mm-hmm.
why would I test it? It's like I don't believe in Candyman, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and say his name 5 times and
Okay.
test it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
Well,
and I don't
well.
believe in Candyman, so I wouldn't do that to test it because that's how that's supposed to work. So what I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking is, if I don't, if I feel the same reverence for God as I do Candyman, why would I test it? If I feel the same way about Candyman that I do God, because I'm not gonna go in the bathroom and say Candyman 5 times.
Okay. First of all, Candyman is talking about doing the exact opposite of what God is talking about doing for you. So that would be one reason I wouldn't want to test Candyman now. Second is there is no ritual. There is no do this 5 times, spin around this, that, and the other. What you're doing is introducing yourself, and what you're doing is asking the keeper of this information to allow you to see it more clear. So we talking about two totally different things. Candyman is talking about the destruction, whether you're innocent, well, you're not so innocent when you step off into opening a door to a demonic entity. And when I say demonic, you know Candyman ain't loving nobody. He trying to kill you. He trying to, huh?
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
He trying to do something strange to you. You dig what I'm
Mm,
saying? Where I'm talking about is a being that's talking about loving you. So for
okay.
you to have the same sentiments of love as you would for tearing body parts, ripping bodies in half, then we talking about two different ways of thinking.
All right, let me say this. I'm not interested in what the entities can do,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., Candyman kills versus the God of Abraham loving people and blessing people. I'm not interested in what they can do. I'm talking about testing the authenticity of the entity.
The
So what I'm
authenticity.
yeah, authenticity of the entity. So what I'm saying is, a way I could demonstrate the God of Abraham is by praying, right? Get in the room, turn all the lights off, get on your knees, and pray and ask God.
I ain't even
And,
say get
and-
on
and-
your knees.
well,
I ain't even say that.
okay, well, you ain't got to get on your knees. But what I'm saying is testing God, because that's how you said to test God,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I'm just interested in the test to
You ain't
interact with
interested
it.
in it. You ain't interested in it. You did it yet?
No, I'm
Oh,
saying if
okay.
I were to do it, then
Uh-huh.
I would be testing the entity to see if I could demonstrate the entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same difference for Candyman. I don't care what Candyman is coming for. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is that's how I could demonstrate Candyman to where he can interact with me. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to either.
But I'm saying that's a way I could demonstrate Candyman is the same way I could go in a room. It's the demonstration with the interaction of the entity is what I'm talking about.
Now tell
You
me
see what?
this. Do
Yeah.
you gotta holler out? Do you gotta say Candyman out loud? or are you
Yeah.
saying it in your head like I proposed you to do?
Uh, you could say it out loud. Yeah,
You got to
yeah. I
say it
think
out loud, right?
yeah, you got to say it out loud. Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm not telling you to do that.
No, but you're telling me to test it out. But what I'm telling you, I could do the same thing for Candyman. I could test it out. I could test it out. You see what I'm trying to say?
I hear what you're saying, but it's not the same thing I'm telling you to do.
No, but you're telling me to test it out though. That's what I'm talking
Mhm.
about. I'm not talking about the whole killing and all that. I'm talking about testing it out. That's all I'm
Mhm.
saying.
I'm
You see what
saying
I'm saying?
you're making a pretty good point, but it's not
Mhm.
on the basis of where I'm coming from.
No,
Because
because
what I'm trying to
because
do
I'm
is
saying
get you to
I'm
benefit yourself, and Candyman talking about killing you.
but I'm not talking about. I'm talking about for the purposes of interacting with the deity. I don't care what the deity is coming for.
Hmm.
I'm trying to get an interaction with the deity. You see
Okay.
what I'm trying to say?
Well,
I just
see,
want to get it. Okay, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I'm just saying. You said that that's a way I could test it out, and so I'm like, cool. But what I'm saying is, I could test out a lot of deities. You see what I'm saying? What make the God of Abraham so special opposed to other ones that I have no interest in testing out either?
Well, the difference between other gods and other deities and the one true God is
Mm-hmm.
just what's in their titles. You know, God is a title, Lord is a title. It's
Mm-hmm.
just what's in their titles. Their titles is God's, and the creator of all things title is Almighty God. Ain't
Mm-hmm.
none of these gods claiming to make man. Ain't none of these guys claiming to offer a resurrection to you. All of these guys is only their ideas and their powers are only vested in the world.
Well, there are other guys that claim to make man.
Name one.
Um, Zeus, I think Zeus supposed to carve man out of clay or something, right?
Okay, what do that sound similar to?
It sounds similar to a lot of deities. It's a
No,
lot of.
not a
I'm sorry.
lot. It's just one.
Oh, it's not other deities that made man,
No.
not out of clay, but made man.
No, now look, you're gonna notice and call out other
Mm-hmm.
deities, but they're
Mm-hmm.
still going to go in correlation to the oldest writings. That the oldest of the writings.
The oldest of
It's
the
just like
writings
it's just
is
like in all these other cultures, you're gonna come up with
well,
a flood, right?
how do you know that is the oldest writings,
Uh, I would use what you know how people try to use the scientists and all that.
right? But you don't believe in that,
But I don't want to use that.
okay?
You know, being that all the colleges are bought and owned,
Right?
so I don't like using that. But at
Okay.
one point, it was a group of people that got together to disprove and prove and disprove and prove, and
Mhm.
they eventually came to terms and an agreement on the authenticity of it.
And these people are who exactly?
I can't remember their name, but it's a group of let's just say uh, historians. I'm gonna get
Historians.
some. Hopefully, somebody will type in the chat what I'm trying to aim at. But let's just say historians. But they were
Yeah.
they were said to be certified and testified and all
You,
that good stuff. You know, all the same stuff they gave Fauci and all the rest of the people that we just take word for it and just run with it. So
but I
based
take
off
it you
them,
don't. I take it you don't trust the word of those historians, right?
I don't trust the word of nobody.
Right. So what I'm trying to I'm trying to figure out how I'm trying to figure out how you know what I'm saying
That's the
if
thing.
if
See, like I was telling you, what I
Mhm.
do When I'm looking for truth,
Mm-hmm.
I'll start at wherever I'm told to start from the beginning, of course.
Okay.
Wherever I'm given access to start from, I
Mm-hmm.
start from there.
Gotcha.
And I go, I seek. And when I
Mm-hmm.
start noticing patterns of deception,
Mm-hmm.
when I start noticing patterns of that I'm gonna have questions to,
Mm-hmm.
I take a pause and I go question before I go any further. And if I go run into deceptions, then I stop there and I start somewhere else. That's how I run my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
See, I go by the scripture of Luke
Mm-hmm.
16:10. Let me read that. And let me just tell you, when I start applying this to my life, is when things start really changing. Luke
Okay.
16:10. It say the person faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. And the person unrighteous in what is least is unrighteous also in much. Do you know what that's saying, bro?
Read it one more time, bro.
The
You say
person
you say Luke 15:10.
16,
Oh, okay.
1:16.
16:10. You got the NIV, right?
I don't know what I got. I got the New World Translation.
Okay.
You
All right.
use
Go ahead.
whatever you want to use. All of it
I
gonna
read.
come back the same.
Right. I read it.
Yeah, you read.
Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. Yeah.
You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying by that?
Yeah.
So when I run into deception, I don't have to be pig headed and keep going and find out the hard way. I just take this word. I take this word. And when
Mm-hmm.
I run into the first sign of deception, I'm stopping and I'm questioning. See, that's the thing about the God of the Bible. See, he don't want you just accepting what he say. He know how you made. He know what you made out of. He know what curse you up under. He wants you to question everything. Everything. So if you're an intelligent person, you can be a child. You can be a 17-year-old. You can be a 16-year-old. But if you're ever walking through life and you run into situations and you don't know or you can't determine what's going on for yourself in your own mind, it's okay to ask questions. And if you're living life without asking questions and just accepting whatever that's coming to you, shame on you. Shame on you. Now that after I said shame on you, tomorrow, don't make that same mistake. After the day, after I'm finished talking about this, don't make that same mistake no more. Question everything.
And see, that's my thing. Cause I can't just use personal experience to validate something to be real. You know what I'm saying? Like how you say you use it in your everyday life. That's how you substantiate that it's real, right? Um, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I got because just because I feel something don't mean that what I'm feeling is what I think I'm feeling, right?
I'm cool with that.
Because because I understand that I don't have any absolutes up here in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, um, without 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 hard without hard evidence outside of myself, if I can't substantiate something, then I cannot, I cannot, I cannot believe in it. I just want to say one more thing right quick. Wait, I had it. So it's like before I lend my energy to any God for any reason, that God must be substantiated first. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what would be something that a God could do to substantiate him being real? He or
I have
she being real.
I have no idea. But if God does exist, then that God knows what. But me as myself, what can that God do? I have no idea.
So if you don't have no idea, when you ask that question to a person that believes in God, how can
Mhm.
they substantiate it? What are you
Right.
expecting to hear?
I'm expecting to hear something that makes sense to me.
Okay. What
And if
what
it
have you
doesn't make
heard?
sense to me,
What have you heard a
then
person say when you ask that question and then they call themselves answering it? What have you heard? Give me a example, some examples of stuff you have heard that don't make sense to you.
um I feel it. I just know that God is real.
Okay,
I
that's one.
I I feel it. I can feel it. He talks to me. I can
Okay,
apply
he
it.
talks
I
to
can,
me. It's okay too.
yeah. Because the Bible says it. Um,
That's three. It can be
um,
associated with he talks to me, but we're gonna say
yeah,
three.
yeah. Um, because when I look at the trees and the stars and the moon and the mountains, I see God. I see intelligent design, shit like that.
Okay, okay. So they saying the original workings of what they
Hmm.
see, like the
Right,
sky and moon and stuff like that. They
right.
say because of that they know it's a God.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Just to name a few.
Now you said those things you heard, right?
Hmm.
Now if a person told you that God talked to them
Right.
and it didn't make sense to you,
Hmm.
how is that even possible when you don't know what you would be anticipating hearing or feeling from divine entity?
Well, I would automatically assume that they're not lying. They're probably mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
They're. I have no reason to believe that what they're telling me that they don't believe it. Like they really believe that God talked to them. Now it could have been a dream. It could have been anything. But just because I don't believe them, don't mean that I don't believe that they really do believe that God talked to them. You see what I'm saying? So I'm
Well,
not calling people. Go ahead.
well, see, the statement you made wasn't that you don't believe him. You said it didn't make sense to you.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It
Therefore, I
don't
don't
make
believe
sense
it.
to you.
It doesn't
Okay,
make sense. Therefore, I don't believe it.
but do you understand when you say that
Hmm.
somebody at this point in your life that
Hmm.
somebody's telling you that they believe in God don't even make sense
Hmm.
to you. So why would their experience make sense to you?
Because I want to know. How, it's a litmus test to figure out
You
what's
said
your.
so what?
It's a litmus test.
A
A way.
litmus?
Yeah, litmus test.
A test?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
what's
way.
the test
It's
about?
it's hold on. It's a litmus test. LITMUS.
Litmus.
Yeah,
Okay, and what that's about?
it's a way to it's a way to get it's a way to measure perspective. It's like getting perspective on something,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if you tell me, you believe in God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm and okay, and I was like, okay, and then I ask you, well, how can you prove it? How can you substantiate that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't believe you off bail, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
litmus test is me asking you, how do you know that to be true? Now, if you give me something that is proof, but it doesn't meet the burden of proof, then I already know that your belief is wrapped up in emotions and not fact.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Well, when I explain these scriptures,
Mm-hmm.
if God's willing, if my heavenly Father is willing, I'm here. You're gonna find that this far fetched belief is not so as far fetched as you think. You
Mm.
know, it, it,
Big. I can't wait, man. I can't
hey,
wait. I
man, I
can't
mean,
wait. I can't wait to no longer suspend because my belief is suspended. I'm not,
yeah.
I don't believe in anything, so it's
At this
suspended
time, you still in the
at
land
this
of the living.
time.
So
But what
at
I'm
this
saying is,
time,
I can't wait to unsuspend that belief. By all means, do what you do.
well, as long as as long as you put full use to your two ears, and pick up a pen and just take your notes. uh Man, it's gonna be, I mean, you hear all those tribe names and stuff like that, man, and you be like, oh man, this type of stuff here just turn me off and whatnot. But dude, do you know it's societies in our world right now running around with them same names in disguise?
Mm,
It's people in our midst, bro, that know the bloodline, the true bloodlines of this world. See, that's the purpose. That's the reason when you go to the hospital, they take your blood. When something's wrong with you, they take your
mm-hmm,
blood. They treat everybody according to their kind. See, I mean, that's an even deeper subject, man. But understand, they don't take notes for no reason. They tell you it's for you and your protection, but understand, to every book, there's a bookkeeper. To every stat, there's a stat keeper. Anything that comes out of your body can, and in the long run, will be used against you. Now, whether it's for right is one thing, whether it's for wrong is another. But what I'm telling you, that these people we entrusting with our insides, with our bodily fluids, these people are under obligation to a whole nother entity other than us. See, they call us their patients because that's what we are. That's what we are. We're not their family. We're not their friends. I don't care how you talk. You've been knowing them for all these years. At the end of the day, if it come down to their livelihood and you ain't shit. Period.
mm.
When they talk about your blood type, why you think they came up with that? Why you think that stuff's so important, Bree? You think it's just because if somebody else got the same blood, if don't nobody else got the same blood as you, you can't use their blood, man. They got plasma. They didn't have this stuff for years. They don't even necessarily need blood. I mean, go check this stuff out. Now, I learned about this through the witnesses. They don't even need blood. This is just the option they do, or an option they have, because these people are into witchcraft. That's what this stuff is about. It's sorcery. Go look at the Walgreens. When you go to Walgreens, what you see up there? You see a motherfucking a potion pot. with the witch's wine in there. See, these people ain't never been about curing you. Where is money at in curing? There is no money in curing. Understand that. That's why when they talk about this system, when they talk about this entity, they always show you the caduceus. Did you notice that, Bree, since I told you? Did you notice when you look at the news, every time they bring this pandemic up, they got this thing on the screen?
You talking about the medical symbol?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they bring it up, they be talking about somebody got shot in the neighborhood. And they say, now on to this such and such, and bam, they got it right there on the screen. See, you think that it's just because, and I'm not saying you, but you think that it's because they're moving to another subject when it's nothing more than witchcraft. It's nothing more than magic they putting on your ass. Because they know when they show you this symbol, your mind state, your subconscious mind is going to move to a whole nother plateau than where it's at before you see that before you see that symbol and hear that term blotted out by that reporter or whatever. Understand this stuff. This stuff ain't coincidence. This stuff ain't done. Just do a little research in the radio broadcasting. Do a little bit of research into that and see what type of power these people got over our minds. You get these proud people talking about some, ain't nobody programmed me. Nigga, you programmed. Period. You born in the same system. I'm programmed. I see through the matrix, and in a whole lot of ways, I'm still programmed. Yeah, you got to unprogram yourself, but it's a process. You can't just snap your finger and it's over with. It's a process. Just like you was in it for years, it's going to take you years to get out of it.
Yeah. That's the truth right there.
It's a program.
It took me years to get where I'm at.
See what I'm saying? And see, some of us are born with talents that others don't have. Some people are born to mess with little bitty veins and connect them and stuff like that beneath the human body. Some people are born to make machines from scratch. Some people are born to make houses. Some people are born to make cars. Some people are born to make clothes. Some people are born to make food. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody different. Everybody have their own things. And when you get numbers, you have other people that desire the same thing and can do the same thing this person can do. Can do the same thing this person can do. And I'm just saying all that to just say, hey, judge people by the way they treat you and themselves. Now, see, I respect people that don't respect themselves. And because I choose a master and his name being Jesus Christ, I even go a little bit deeper than that. If I see somebody disrespecting themselves, if I'm in a goofy mood and I'm with somebody, I may tell a joke or something like that, but I don't go disrespect that person because that person disrespect themselves. Everybody different. Some people goofy. Some people lazy. Some people energetic. Some people sloppy. Some people skinny. Some people black. Some people white. Quit judging people based on the book, the cover of the book. Open the book up. Dig inside the book before you just go to judging. It just looks real. It looks terrible. It looks terrible, especially for you to be our age and you still walking around here and you judging the cover of books.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you got to recognize what you're doing and dig into this book and break it down for yourself so that you can understand what you are being judgmental about, so that you can grab certain things out of there and you can say, hey, help me understand this, because this is against what you know, until you get to that point, it's not logical that you can judge something you don't know about. So when it comes to skin and sex and how you treat people and how you classify them based on how their actions are, not based on how they look.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's one of I've always, I learned my lesson in the early 90s. I got on that Black Panther, when the little groups and rap hookups was out where they was preaching, Black Power and stuff like that, like Public Enemy and stuff like that. I was on it. And I just noticed that I got treated a whole lot better by these people who I don't pose to like, because they're a different color. And I used to be offensive to it, before I realized it was just somebody trying to be polite and not trying to be funny. After it happened over a dozen times, I was just like, oh, okay, this is just what it is. Hi, all that, I'm like, man, this phony. A couple dozen times it happened. I'm like, okay, this person just, professional. Oh, this person was just friendly. You know what I'm saying? I base it off how a person treat me, man, how they treat their surroundings. What the stuff that I can put my finger on, not the stuff I don't know about what's going on behind closed door. But the stuff I can clearly put a finger on. I judge off that. So I ain't worried about getting caught up. And, I'm seeing these people make these plans, and I'm just going to go ahead head first in with their little theologies. And then they telling you who wrote the book on this, who wrote the book on our history. And there's always somebody of non-melanated complexion. Now, how is this person responsible for this and not a person that's supposed to be a part of this group? Nah. You understand what I'm saying? How would he know all this? Why not get one of the what they call them, the elders? You know how these people go off ancestor worship and shit like that. So these elders that pass down the knowledge, why ain't they writing these books? Why is these professors from Harvard and Yale and all them writing these books? See, it just don't mesh for me. It don't make sense to me. And then you get the people that call themselves elders in our community ain't doing nothing but regurgitating what these people talk about. They letting us know through our entertainment what this black white shit is about. It's non-existence. Its only existence is they make it exist, and we just eat it up. Let them get to showing them commercials of dogs getting sick on niggas out in the street and niggas get hit with water hose. Let them play that and watch what happens. Nigga get all emotioned up. See, let me put it plain. This is a religion that they want you to prescribe to. So they make sure you get something you can see every so many years and almost every other day so that you can prescribe to it. They want your emotions involved. Just seeing it and walking past it ain't enough. They want you to comment on it. They want you to be driven by it. I mean, it's not out there just for shits and giggles. It's not out there for entertainment. It's out there for a program to take place. And they doing quite fine. They doing quite fine. Because, see, a nigga will argue you down. Hey, you didn't grew up with this guy. You ain't never did nothing wrong to him. And they could come at you on the news and tell you that this, that, and the other is what's happening. And you come to him and say, hey, man, it ain't what's happening. He going to argue you down. He going to argue you down. He want proof that he know you can't, that you ain't probably capable of getting. And then tell you, you ain't no doctor. But here,
Mm.
turn on TV and you get Mr. Fauci start talking his shit, and then you get the computer whiz to get up there and start talking his shit. And this same nigga that just said I ain't no doctor gonna
Mm.
eat up every word Bill Gates from, and he ain't no doctor neither. But because he got this prestige and because he's on this silver screen, he's gonna believe everything Mr. Gates got to say.
Mm.
He not knowing Mr. Gates got his foundation from killing babies. His parents
Mm.
was the founders of some of the founders of Planned Parenthood.
Mm.
But gonna eat up every word he say. Why would this person be honest with you? This person talking about depopulating the earth. Why would he want to help you live? But I'm trying to tell you something that's gonna make you die. And see, I'm gonna rob my homegirl, my Philadelphian again. But see, bro, they don't like this type of teaching. They don't like it. They hear it, they run for the listen. I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. I just want you to hang in there long enough so I can plant this seed. And when I plant this seed, you're gonna see the things that I'm talking to you about in your everyday life. The things you didn't notice that I speak on, you're gonna start noticing. It's just that simple. See,
Mm.
my book said, put aside the foolish talk of genealogies. If this world was based on or should I say, my beliefs was based on the physical, as it were right now, why would this book tell me to put? Why would it hold genealogies in high esteem to a certain point, and then after a certain point, it tells you there's no more need for talking about this stuff? Why would it do that? See the blood. See, understand when I talk about the Israelite, what these person calling themselves the Hebrew Israelites. Some of the most sorriest, vilest, backstabbingest, unappreciative motherfuckers you could ever meet.
Mm.
They were constantly shown pure, unadulterated power by God. Beg their way out, go against God. Worship all the gods of the nations. Go against God. And soon as that thunder get ready to get clapped on their ass, here they go bagging back to God again. Please help us. Please, please, please. And then boom, get help. And then after so many years, turn back around, do the same thing over and over again, man.
Mm.
And these people want to talk about it like it's some type of something to brag over. Not to mention, these were some of the most some of the people standing up front when it was time to crucify and I'm gonna say, for the sake of my unbelievers, the so-called Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
The scriptures made clear. We knew that. Made clear that when this Roman dude say, I find no fault, you had Pharisees who were children of Israel step up and say, no, he gotta die, basically. And the people start cheering behind him. His countrymen. Yeah. So what make you so special? Oh,
Mm.
I guess because you know some scripture and can break down some scripture. I guess that's supposed to make you special. And you got dark skin, or should I say melanated skin, because a lot of them ain't dark at all. Wearing
Mm.
all these signs and symbols. See, the God in the Bible didn't go off signs and symbols. So where all that stuff come from?
Mm.
But see, they don't like this type of teaching, my brother. They hear this, and when I bring up all this stuff, they want to get a little violent. See, I went to war, you know, uh, thanks to young Vic, aka Vic Damone, back when he just started getting started with this stuff. And when you hit these people with that stomach shot, when you hit them with that setup, when you set them up for that uppercut, they always want to get mad and want to get loud. Not just mad and talk, but mad and get loud. See, I know what they're about. I know what they're about. That's why they stay run for. I used to comment on their little comments. Ain't nobody want none. They don't want none. See, I tell them like this. See, y'all believe in pieces of the Bible. I believe in the entire Bible. I don't just take out what I agree with and throw away the rest. No, that ain't how it work. That ain't how it work. And see, when you get a person to explain it like that, they tend to get let me say a little cowardly, because they sit off on these street corners beating their goddamn chest like they doing something, and ain't doing nothing but basically worshiping themselves, right? Because they supposed to be this special shit, being that they Hebrew Israelite. So they ain't doing nothing but beating their chest and letting you know who they are and what they're about. It ain't really about God at the end of the day. It ain't that. It's about letting you know that they know some scripture and they know who God is, and that's it. We this special people, we know this and we know that, and this is a lie. They expose, just like any government agent, they expose the obvious lies, and then they come with some truth. But that's only to get you to a certain place and then rob your ass blind, rob you of your mental and your money. But these niggas don't impress me. They don't. And I hate for any man to be impressed by another man, especially if that man ain't promoting Christ. You know how I was telling you about the brother, how he trained his, he got his sons, and his sons playing the instrument for him when he doing this thing, brother Stephen Darby. And, he letting you know what the stuff he had to go through with his sons. And, man, a cut brother, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's as far as it's going to go. I'm going to give a brother his props, and that's it. I'm not going to put no brother on no pedestal like, he's some type of, something to be worshipped or idolized. I'm going to give you your props. I'm going to let you know, hey, I'm on your side, and that's it. That's it. It ain't going no further than that. All that die hard and fanatic, nah. I'm a fanatic for Jah. I ain't no fanatic for no man. And a fanatic for him ain't no nigga that's going out here raising hell. It's a nigga that's pointing to him. You don't know which way to go? Oh, let me help you out here. Go that way right there. That's who I am. That's who I am. I ain't beating my chest and I know this, I know that, Because there's a lot of things that, like you asked me, like, do you claim to know every, I don't know if you asked me that specifically, but I would never claim to know everything. But on this particular topic that I talked to you about, I'm well equipped for good work on this one. Period. I'm well equipped. I can go down through that. You give me them guys that be talking about the molecular this and all them 5-syllable words and all that. See, I'm the type of dude that say, hey, dumb it down for me a little bit, bro. Pretend I don't know nothing. Help me understand where you coming from. See, you ain't about to have me going all out there trying to figure out what you're saying. No, motherfucker, I want you to tell me exactly what you're saying. We ain't gonna speak another language. We're gonna speak the same language I'm speaking to you right now. You know, nigga, get that motherfucking bow tie on, put them glasses on, goddamn me, and get the molecular the photosynthesis and that. Nah, man, come on now.
Mm.
Dumb it down for me, man. Dumb it down. Now, I'm pretty sure I can use my other hand and go type it up, on Google, but I ain't about to go through all this shit. Bro, you crawl before you walk. You know how to talk with some sense. You ain't got to go all that. You ain't got to do all that. But yeah, man, I ain't, I ain't claiming to know everything. But see,
Right.
when I opened up this platform, because, I like, I get off into a little griminess on my people's that I listen to. And I like to be the person that help put that mirror in front of a person that's in violation. I get off on doing stuff like that, and see, I like to do that on the spiritual side too. So if you want to get off into a conversation, a deep down graded debate argument about the real world, I'm with that. I encourage that on this platform. You trying to let me know or help me understand why you don't believe, and I'm trying to help you understand why I do believe. And at the end of the day, we both gonna come to a conclusion. It may not take one episode, it may not take 100 episodes, but we gonna keep going at it until we come to a conclusion. We gonna keep going at it, and I'm gonna tell you the truth always win in the end. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. The truth gonna always win in the end. What up, though, Saw? Thanks for coming through, bro. And I don't even know if that's my. Let me see if that's because I gave Saw. Yep, yep. I watched him. Yeah, bro. So I do realize, bro, that that knowledge don't just stand still. Just because just because everything took place in the Bible don't mean that knowledge stopped. It's still things about the Bible. Then the Bible been written this long period of time ago, since the last book was written. Things about it still coming to pass. Scriptures are still being broken down to where somebody that don't believe can understand it. And I think that was Emno talking last night about how you can get two different meanings out of one scripture and this, that, and the other. See, if you got enough people, you can get way more than two different meanings out of one scripture. And I find that beautiful, because all the things that you can get out of there is just a testimony to a book that deals with height, width, depth, and breadth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's no one way you can capsulate. You can corner this book, because it goes inside, outside, around, on top. You feel what I'm saying? It deals with all angles, not just one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all up like I did the other day, man, when we did that 6 hour, boy, man. I ain't gonna do you like that, young Bree, man. You know what I'm talking about, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get it shut down, because my bro, he wanted to get out the house tomorrow, man. And I told him we gonna do something. We gonna get out the house, do something. Hey,
So,
dude, I would have threw it up there to you. Oh, I wasn't paying no attention. My beauty just came down the stairs. Oh, I wish I could show y'all her when she just waking up. Man, so good, so good. But yeah, y'all. I pray y'all have a good night, man. Y'all be safe tomorrow, man. I'm gonna try to do something else, man. I'm gonna try to have an even better I'm gonna see what the mongoose up to, man, because I'm looking to chop his
Oh
a
yeah, we got
few of
some.
his points up, man.
Yeah, we got some. He got some stuff he got to explain
Yeah,
better. So
yeah. And before I get to, trying to trap the mongoose, I'm gonna let him run free a little bit. I'm gonna let him chop up a few of these snakes. Yeah, bring it down. Let him chomp up a few of these snakes before I ensnare his ass. You dig what I'm saying? I want to
right,
let him run free for a second, make sure all the grass, all the surrounding is safe. You understand? And then I want to get him.
yeah, right,
Let him run wild. You know what I'm saying, man?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Cause he ready to run wild, dog. He ready.
right.
But hey man, you be safe tomorrow, bro. I see you. You going to you 9 times out of 10 going to pick up some dinner up there at the job, huh? Tomorrow.
Uh, yeah, maybe depends. I got some junk food. Yeah.
did. But you be safe, bro. I'll give you a call tomorrow, man.
All right, family. I'm gonna holler at you.
Hey y'all. Thank y'all for coming through, rapping the taste with me, helping me get a little bit of this junk out of my system, y'all. I want to leave y'all on a real good note. Um, I may have a little bit more free time in the next couple weeks, so I'm gonna try to find some other stuff to do and try to. I'm really trying to be able to do lives on this riverfront, y'all, before it get real cold, and when it do get cold, so y'all can see a little bit of Canada too. You know what I'm saying? See how close I am to Canada. So y'all help me out if you can. Put it out there. And with that, it's gonna be a lot more better selection of things we can do, man. I'll take y'all up to the top of the Renaissance Center and show y'all around. I want to do some sweet stuff, man. But check this out, y'all, on y'all way out, man. Y'all have a good day. And just remember your boy Curl, man. Your boy Curl only one was best for you. Peace, y'all.
You have captivated me in every way. From the time we met, still until this day, oh boy, you got me. Simple as the time we spent, I'll tell you this. I'll do anything. The truth is, boy, you really got me. Baby, I'm saying, boy, I want to be less than 5 feet. You bad as the rest, but you watch just sit with me. See, I know you know that we are ready for love. I ain't quick to fall for all that game they run. They think I brought us down. Oh, I know the time still, boy, you got me. With you, we gon' get it all straight now. I ain't here to waste my time. The day you flip, the day I'm out. Still, it don't change the fact you got me. With you. Oh, when I'm saying, babe, I want to be all of this. You laugh as the rest, but you watch yourself when you don't see me. I know you know that we are ready for love.
You got me.
Baby, you got me.
Hey, now keep me.
It's so wonderful. You got to get all of yourself if you want me. All that I'm saying is, I wanna be. But you don't see
You got me. Now keep me. Peace, family, and love.